was just on a call with other coaches and I'm listening in, and this thought just came back to me, and it was something that I've been thinking about for the last week and a half probably. And this is just in conversation with people, with other coaches, listening to the feedback that they're getting and listening to the feedback that I'm getting as well. And I want to talk about how we can set big goals from a small place and how frustrating that can be, because if you don't take the time to grow into your goal, it's always going to seem like too much. And I use that word always intentionally. It is always going to seem like too much. If your growth is not part of the goal, if you don't walk into this new experience knowing that this is going to require me to grow, this is going to take a bigger version of me, this is going to take some stretching, this is going to be a challenge. If you don't walk into it with that mindset, you're going to encounter a lot more frustration, shame, and even regret. Shame, because there is an element of pride when you set a goal and the purpose of that goal is to prove things to other people or to prove something to yourself, to prove your worth, right? Or to prove that you are capable. Like, I just want to do it because I have to prove to them, or I have to prove to myself that I can. It's a very tricky place. It's a very dangerous place for you to put yourself. There are goals that you can set just to challenge yourself, just for the stretch, just for the growth, but you have to be in a good place first before you create those types of goals, because those can be very dangerous to your mental state, right? Because if you are setting a goal that you know is going to stretch you and you are not approaching it in a healthy way, that goal could actually be your downfall. And instead of you becoming a bigger and better version of yourself, that was a Freudian slip, you become bitter. And you start to blame the people around you. You blame the goal itself. You blame everything outside of yourself, instead of looking at the fact that you were not preparing yourself to stretch. You were not preparing yourself to be stretched. And that's so important. When you are setting big goals, I think that there are two ways that you can prepare yourself. You can prepare yourself to be stretched. So expect the challenge, expect the opposition. Think about it in advance, right? When you set a goal, think about the things that can come up against you, instead of waiting for them to come up against you and then going, oh no, what am I gonna do? There is resistance. There is always going to be resistance to growth, right? Because resistance is necessary. If you think about growing muscle, you use resistance to grow muscle. So it is necessary for growth. So expect the resistance, embrace the resistance. It's okay for you to have challenges. It's okay. And then the second thing, I can't even remember what the second thing is now, because I'm talking this through in real time, because I'm fresh off this call and this thing is just like mulling over in my mind, and it just really brought it home how we can think so small even when setting big goals. Oh, it's the play on the R's. And I said this before in a previous video, that the reason is just as important as a result, if not more important. Because you have to set yourself up. That's it. Thank you, Lord. You have to set yourself up to stretch, and you also have to set yourself up to serve. I knew if I kept talking, it was going to come back to me. Set yourself up to stretch and set yourself up to serve. The goals that you set should not only serve you. The goals that you set should also serve others. The most meaningful and fulfilling things that you will ever do in life are things that you do for others. This is how we are created. This is how we were designed. This is how we were designed to work. You are paid at your job because you serve. You serve and you are compensated. I'm not saying that should be the reason for your service, but that's how life works. That's just how it's set up. This is a reciprocal world that we live in. You know, people talk about the concept of sowing and reaping. You reap what you sow. It may not be in the exact form that you sow it, because even you think about planting vegetables, you might sow a seed, but you reap the actual vegetable, you reap the actual food, right? So understand that every single goal is going to require you to stretch, and it should also require you to serve if you want this goal to be fulfilling. And regardless of how much we may talk about, I've heard people say things like, I feel used, or I feel resentful. When we feel resentful, it's because we served with an expectation. Yes, there are situations where people are really taking advantage of you, but oftentimes they're not. Oftentimes the resentment that we feel is because we serve with an expectation. And when you get to the point where your goal is to serve from a pure place, from an authentic place, and not necessarily expecting something in return, you serve better. When you have that pure heart and that pure energy in your service, even if this is at your job, because everybody knows you come to work, you do your job, you're going to get paid. Even if this is at your job, the attitude and the energy surrounding how you serve is going to be different when your mindset shifts to one of stretching and serving. Because what happens is you start to challenge yourself in the ways that you can serve better. How can I serve better? Not so I can receive more, but so I can give more. And if you're looking at it with a visionary mindset, then you understand that in order for you to serve more, you have to be more. In order for you to serve more, you have to develop yourself. Develop your character, develop your skills, so that when you do serve, you're serving from, and this is my word of the year that I'm going to share with you, you're serving from overflow. It's not because it's like, oh, I gotta do this. You know, this is what I have to do. I gotta show up. I gotta do this thing. And it feels like work. It feels like drudgery. It feels like a weight on you. When you serve from a pure place, you're serving from a happy place. You're serving with joy. So it's nothing for you to give from that place. It's nothing for you to show up at work and do your job and do it with a smile on your face and actually look for ways to do it better and to become more efficient. You start to become more productive when you serve from a pure place. So don't ever think that the goal is the goal. The goal is not the goal. The goal, with the growth and the alignment of your soul, those two things together working in unison, that's the goal. That's the goal. And that's the key to having a visionary mindset. And that's what's going to keep you moving forward in life. And it can be in the smallest area of your life. It can be in a friendship. It can be in your workouts. You can apply this to your finances. You can apply this to your job. You can apply this to how you run your business. You can apply it to anything. Your attitude must be an attitude where you stretch and where you serve. And you make those two things a goal, and you will see things progress. I promise you. I hope this helps. Blessings on your journey. I'll talk to you soon.